Napoleon has just attacked the Prussians. What are they doing here? Didn't I teach them a lesson at Jena? Where is Marshal Ney? Still no news, sire. Send the guard into combat.
Your guard, sire?
I know it's the first time. Carry on.
Very good, sire. Troops! Bayonets! Forward! March!
Marshal Ney and his regiments have made contact with the enemy.
It always comes down to a bit of luck in the end.
What's he writing?
Probably the report of the battle, as he wants it published in Paris's newspapers. The Emperor takes charge of everything around him, including the facts.
Is this separation as difficult for you as it is for me, my sweet Mary? This sad village called Elo is haunted by the dead and the wounded. It's a victory with a taste of defeat. Which is why, Mary, I take refuge tonight thinking of you. To let a bit of tenderness exist in this world of suffering and death.
This sad village called Elo is haunted by the dead and wounded. It's a victory with a taste of defeat. Which is why, Marie, I take refuge tonight thinking of you. To let a bit of tenderness exist in this world of suffering and death.
See that, Cawnpur? The Tsar of all the Russians in all his splendor. Dazzling.
When one is defeated, sire, one has the choice of covering oneself with ashes or furbelows. He has chosen furbelows.
As you must know, sire, I am like you. I despise the English more than I can say.
In that case, sire, we have made peace.
I've commissioned this painting for you. I'm determined that you should have a souvenir of our discussion in the middle of the Niemen, when the Emperor of France and the Tsar of Russia met to offer one another peace.
Do you really think France has offered you peace? I would say she has imposed it on you.
The French have such a gift for nuance.
It's more than a nuance, sire. You know very well that if you had not accepted my conditions, I would have blown your Austrian and Hungarian allies off the face of the earth and laid waste to your own empire.
And such cruel terminology.
I'm a conqueror, not a lyricist.
Well, it's of no consequence. What matters is that we have made peace. An honorable peace that will last.
It will last as long as we respect our agreements. Everything to the east of the Vistula is yours, but everything to the west is mine.
There's only one problem. That annoying little river runs through Poland, and Poland can never be French.
She won't be Russian, I can assure you of that. Now, there is only one solution. An independent, sovereign Poland.
A Polish Poland, back to back with Holy Russia?
Yes.
There'd be a constant threat. No, Poland stays as she is.
But she isn't anything.
Exactly. I'll make you an offer. Drop your idea of resurrecting Poland, and I shall persuade the English to stop setting Europe against you.
Interesting.
I hate the way that the English preach to the whole world. If there's one nation that has a right to preach, it is France. The revolution was a great step toward the freedom of mankind.
Including freedom for Russia's 10 million serfs.
Sire, you can't reform everything.
Perhaps. Not all at once.
We waited for 3 days and 3 nights. And then it was over.
Nothing could be done.
What can be done for diphtheria? My sweet little boy died in a horrible, tormented fear.
I loved your son, Hortense. I loved him as much as if he'd been my own. Your dear Charles Napoleon was of my blood, and he would have succeeded me if...
It is not your heir who died. It is my child. You say you loved him. So forget your reign for a moment and weep with me.
Weep him. He has wallowed in death for so long that it stirs no feelings at all. He knew the stench of corpses before he even smelled a woman.
You mean? You're stupid and
Stop it! Stop! Both of you! I've
forbid you to use my dead child to destroy each other.
She's right. She's right, but what you said was unfair. You have no idea what that war was like. And the hell I've returned from.
Hell? With a bit of paradise, too. Everyone says that your Polish wife, yes, that's what they call her here, has the face of an angel.
Countess Walewska, if you're referring to her, is in no way my wife.
But there is nothing to prevent it, is there?
No.
If you had the courage to tell me what you want, what sort of sacrifice you expect from me? Divorce? Renouncement? My suicide?
Well, monsieur? You told my footman the Emperor sent you to see my...
My son, yes.
Sire! It's you, finally.
May I?
Yes, of course.
I've never held such a small child in my arms. Hortense would never let me carry her son. She was afraid I would drop him.
Oh, this one is yours. You can hold him as much as you want.
He's quite handsome, isn't he?
Of course he's handsome. People don't really dare say he looks like you, but...
People? What people? I hope you don't show him to everyone. It is our secret.
I'll take him, sire. It's not comfortable for you. Also, he's not yet housebroken, and I wouldn't want...
No. I'll keep him with me for a bit.
He must get used to you. Now that you're back, you'll be able to come visit us as often as...
This is our last meeting, Eleanor.
But why? What have I done?
You have only been good for me. You cannot imagine how happy I was to hear that you had borne me a child. Don't worry. You will not want for anything. I will look after both of you. But from a distance.
From a distance? Because you are the Emperor and he is your bastard?
No. Don't call him that. He's my son. For me, he's my son. So take him. And forgive me.
Will you miss him at least?
Pick up the bodies.
Look at this one. Isn't that pretty? Hmm?
Yes.
Oh, look. Oh, it smells so good. Oh, look at those. What happened?
Did you hurt yourself?
I have a confession to make.
Yes.
I slipped on purpose to see if you would take me in your arms, like you did once upon a time. It's good to be in your arms. Thank you for this little adventure.
Don't rejoice too quickly. Those two Spanish fools I'm forcing you to dine with tonight are really...
I'm prepared for the worst. It seems that the king is a spineless jellyfish and the son a disgusting pig.
A pig and jellyfish. What a menu.
Since you're so nice, I'm going to tell you some wonderful news.
Now, let me guess. Your dressmaker has run out of ribbons and silk, and you're going to make do with the 6,000 dresses you already own.
No, it's serious. It concerns your succession. Napoleon, you're going to have an heir.
You're pregnant?
No, not me. Hortense. Hortense is pregnant again. And if it's going to be a boy, they're going to call him Louis Napoleon. Doesn't it sound wonderful? Louis Napoleon, Emperor of the French.
Possibly Emperor. Emperor as a last resort. Emperor if I have no direct descendants.
But direct descendants, but you know that we can't.
It's you who can't, Josephine. You're shivering.
It's getting cold.
I simply ask that an expedition force be allowed to pass through Spain on its way to Portugal. It's intolerable of Lisbon to receive the English fleet, although I ordered a blockade on all the ports in Europe.
Sire, these devilish Portuguese, they've always had trading in their blood.
No, the English are unloading regiments and cannons, not merchandise, so they can march up to the Pyrenees and threaten France from the south.
Is the Empress not hungry?
She's slightly unwell.
She doesn't know what she is missing. If you set me on the throne of Spain, sire, I will make it my sacred duty to help the French army across.
A pig you are. Did you hear that, sire? Stuffing himself with food is not enough for my son. He intends to gobble up my kingdom.
That's enough. Your family quarrels are pathetic and unworthy of the princes you claim to be.
Excuse me, sire. The dispatch from Madrid. Marshal Murat's headquarters dated the 2nd of May. Our troops stationed in Madrid have been attacked by rioters. Many grenadiers have had their throats cut in the most cowardly fashion. Murat had to order his men to fire on the aggressors. Madrid is a sea of blood and flames.
Is the king? Madrid is his responsibility.
If there are rebels, they must be his.
No, that's a lie.
Bandits is rallied to steal my throne.
It's enough.
Blood of my men has been spilled, not yours. Look at me, both of you. I've made my decision, King Charles. You have until tomorrow morning to sign your abdication. You're only a puppet king. The real power in Spain lies with the Inquisition.
I always said you were not fit to reign.
Your father may not be fit, Prince Ferdinand, but I will never let you wear the crown that I'm removing from his head. So get out now, both of you. Get out of my sight! Now!
You are a bloody maniac. I
me more. I get Ferdinand.
That's your fault. Everything is your fault.
Ferdinand, you owe me respect.
I don't take care of your advice.
I told you several times not to behave like that.
One day I will be the king of Spain.
Are you sure about Spain? It's not just an army we'll be fighting. We'll have to fight the whole population. Men, women, and even children.
Go to hell with them. All I need is to find someone to put on their throne. I shall give it to Joseph.
But your brother's already king of Naples.
And I will find someone else for Naples.
Let me through! Dispatch for the Emperor!
You see, still bricks in the same place. Men defy death for the right to wear the Légion d'honneur. We owe them something better than this trinket. Make a model and let me see it.
Leave us alone, gentlemen. I beg your pardon, sire, but a messenger from Spain has just arrived with a confidential dispatch.
And you've read it, of course.
Well, sire, it seemed very urgent, so...
You open it to save time. And time is very precious to me now, so... Well, tell me, what does it say?
Terrible news, sire. Madrid has fallen. General Dupont has surrendered to the rebels with his 20,000 men, all his cannons and flags.
Coward. Has he no honor? And my brother?
Well, sire, King Joseph, he...
What? Tell me. What?
He has left Madrid.
Left Madrid? Are you telling me that my brother has run away?
Nicholas.
Bonaparte fleeing from danger. What cowardice. What treachery. Good God, Caulaincourt. I've been so wrong. I should have put Murat on the throne of Spain. Better an ambitious man than a coward. And the whole world will know.
They know, sire.
Everyone.
St. Petersburg is the only place that doesn't know. It's too far away for the news to have traveled.
I will send Caulaincourt to Russia. He must get there before the Tsar finds out what happened in Spain. He must not give Alexander the slightest reason to doubt my strength. He must make the Tsar believe that I had foreseen it all and I want to discuss it with him. If the South goes up in flames, we must do all we can to prevent the fire reaching the East. I must not let myself be torn in two. Therefore, halfway between France and Russia, that's where Caulaincourt must arrange my meeting with the Tsar. Since the Emperor of Russia claims he's our friend, let him prove it by keeping the Austrians and Prussians quiet while my army is busy in Spain.
Don't worry, sire. I'll draw up a most excellent little treaty.
As for those Spanish barbarians, I will send Marshal Ney to Madrid with orders to crush the rebellion.
Using which troops, sire?
The best we have, our regiment from Germany.
But that could seriously weaken our positions in the east.
I know, it is not the wisest strategy. But it would be even more dangerous to let all of Europe believe that a gang of terrorists can humiliate the French army and get away with it.
I don't trust Talleyrand, sir.
Forget him. He's asleep.
Yeah, but we never know if anything is genuine with him, sir. But we can be certain of one thing. He had a long conversation with the Prince von Metternich.
What of it? He's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It's perfectly normal for him to talk to the Austrian ambassador.
I managed to overhear what Metternich said to him. I wrote it here. I suppose you will be at the meeting in Erfurt. Many people think that you are the only sensible man in France. So do not disappoint them, my dear Talleyrand.
Just a few words.
But their meaning is clear, sir. Do not disappoint the Tsar. Talleyrand would have to disappoint you.
Talleyrand's reply is what matters.
But he did not reply, sir. He simply smiled. You know, that strange little smile of his.
At last. How wonderful to see him again. Alexander. You look well. My dear friend, may I present Monsieur Talleyrand?
Your humble servant.
I know him very well, sire, and I'm certain that his tact and moderation will serve us very well in our little negotiations.
Negotiations? Who said anything about negotiations? One negotiates when one doesn't share the same point of view, but you and I already agree about everything, do we not?
Shall we ride to a fort together, just you and I? I have some fine Russian horses.
Oh.
Come. I know how much you enjoy breaking free of protocol.
Splendid.
Well, Marquis, how is this little mission of ours going? You've prepared the ground successfully, I hope.
Well, I've been preparing balls, concerts, banquets, hunting parties, firework displays. The Emperor wants to dazzle the Tsar with the display of his power. His Majesty says nothing helps negotiations more, especially with a man as civilized as Alexander.
Yes, well, the sovereign of Russia may very well be civilized, but his people are not. In France, of course, it's the other way around.
He does not like Italian music. He prefers military music.
Military? Really?
And the Emperor is rather tired, too.
Of the festivities?
I'm afraid.
They were his idea.
What can I say?
Like everything else.
Leave us. They are playing with us, Talleyrand. We've been here an entire week, and all we've done is amuse ourselves. If we can call listening to that Paganini character amusement. Alexander avoids all mention of politics. Can't he see I need him?
I think that's precisely why he's being so evasive, sir.
I'm going to bring him back to reality. Finita la commedia. How is that treaty of yours coming along?
I've been meaning to show it to you, Your Majesty.
Where does it say that Russia must bring pressure to bear on Austria and Prussia? That's why we came here.
I didn't include it, sire, because the Tsar would never sign it. He hasn't the slightest intention of dissuading the Austrians and Prussians from mobilizing troops against us.
How do you know what's on his mind? I'm closer to Alexander than you are. He's like a brother to me now.
Cain was a brother to Abel, sire.
Wherever you look, you see treason. But you betray France's interest by daring to propose such a treaty. It's meaningless rubbish, and that's what I do. It's rubbish.
Very well, sire. I'll review the matter.
No, I've lost my faith in you. From now on, I will deal directly with the Tsar, one-on-one.
Very Very well, sire.
I had it made especially for you. Isn't it magnificent?
Splendid arm. But if the Austrians are in fact ready to mobilize 400,000 men, this rifle won't be enough to stop them.
It's just for hunting rabbits on the slopes of the Thuringerwald. The countryside there is breathtaking. Well, you'll see. Now, I suggest that we leave at dawn.
No, Alexander. I shall be leaving for Paris. But before I leave, I want to know.
Know what?
If you intend to keep the promise you made in Tilsit.
I'm a man of my word.
I knew you were a friend.
I have not forgotten that you asked me to mediate with England, and I shall respect that commitment.
What about Austria and Prussia?
I don't recall anything about that.
You don't recall? You were the Tsar of all the Russians. You expect me to believe that you've forgotten a promise on which depends the future of Europe? No, Alexander, not to me, not that, not from you.
Let us say that I do remember, but that I have reached the same conclusion as Monsieur de Talleyrand. That to maintain peace in Europe, there must be a balance of power. Therefore, it is in everyone's interest to allow Austria to rearm.
But forget Talleyrand! And speak for yourself. Will you or will you not intervene to send the Austrians back to the barracks so I can finish my business with Spain in peace?
I'm delighted that Your Majesty is not as tired as Monsieur de Caulaincourt claimed yesterday. Anger will not serve you well with me.
Nearly cost me a new hat. But I finally have my answer. It will not help us. Austria and Prussia are going to attack.
That's extremely worrying, sire, as a messenger just arrived with news from Madrid. General Junot was forced to surrender.
Why do things always go so badly in Spain?
Because you are not there, sire.
That's going to change. I'm leaving for Madrid.
If Napoleon was still alive, we would know it. He has never been able to spend an hour without sending dozens of letters all over the place. And for the last few days, there has been only silence.
His letters might have been intercepted. The Spanish had been known to slit the throats of anyone in a French uniform.
And you, madame, what do you think?
Like you, Monsieur Fauchery. I fear the worst.
You know what's going to happen if we let events overtake us?
The return of the monarchy. I can well understand why that unsettles you, Fouché. Louis XVIII might make you pay dearly for your zeal during the Reign of Terror.
You're quite wrong. Any fears I may have are for friends. We must prepare the Emperor's succession.
I am convinced that my husband would easily win the French people's approval.
I agree. What remains to be seen, of course, is what your husband is going to think about this.
Murat will think what I think.
All we need is you now, Talleyrand, to complete the party.
The conspiracy, you mean? Or, in a word, the treason.
Treason? Where do you see treason?
The Emperor has always designated the son of Louis and Hortense as his successor.
But the child isn't even 6 months old.
Nevertheless, making arrangements that contradict the Emperor's wishes is called treason. A somewhat delicate matter.
Who will reproach us if Napoleon does not return? Josephine?
Josephine doesn't count. If we let her keep my maison and give her some money, she'll be eating out of our hands.
It's a fascinating topic. And what if the Emperor does come back?
That would be a miracle. I would have a Te Deum sung in the Notre Dame de Paris.
What an excellent sister you are, madam. The Emperor may very well be surrounded by enemies in Europe, but in France he is surrounded by his wonderful family. So loving, so united.
Why are you hiding your face? Does your conscience stop you from looking at me?
Conscience? Why?
Because of what's been happening here while I was in Spain.
What has been happening?
You take me for a fool, Josephine. Do you take me for a fool? You betrayed me with other men, and now you just betray me. Concealing what you know is betrayal.
I don't know what you're talking about. I swear I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe you didn't play a part in the betrayal. But I blame you for not informing me.
A betrayal?
They're all in it.
Who betrayed you?
Fouché, Talleyrand. Even Murat.
Murat? But Murat and Caroline don't even talk to me. Caroline hates me.
And what about those two traitors, Fouché and Talleyrand?
But they're the same. They despise me too much to get me involved in their plots. No one knew where you were, what had become of you. They said the war was monstrous. The wounded men who came home had no words to describe what they had seen. Everyone believed that you were dead. And I was here alone, waiting for them to come and tell me that I was finished. Waiting for them to throw me out. What will become of me without you? Who will I be without you?
Forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Remain on your feet, Talleyrand. Like the accused before his judge.
Accused? Me? My God, sire, accused of what?
taking part in a coup d'etat based on a shameful pretext that the Spanish expedition was a disaster and there was no chance of my returning alive.
As a matter of fact, sire, I never doubted I would see you again.
I took Burgos, Madrid, and I drove the English out of the Spanish peninsula. Hardly a disaster, Napoleon. Where I come from, we call that a victory.
A precarious victory, sire. Half your army is still in Spain enforcing a tentative peace. The moment they leave...
I have no intention of putting them out.
And that's precisely the problem. There is a coalition being formed against us, including the Austrians, possibly the Russians.
That's your fault. You poisoned my relationship with Vienna, the Tsar, and everyone else. And you pushed me to intervene in Spain.
I advised action, sire, not obstinacy.
Oh, you were right and I was wrong.
I didn't say you were wrong. Misguided, perhaps.
What was the price of your betrayal? What is the fee for a man in your position?
Now you cast aspersions on my honor?
Honor? You have no honor. You're a scoundrel.
Sire, when a point is exaggerated, it becomes meaningless.
That's what you have just become. Meaningless. I invalidate your office of Grand Chamberlain and the 40,000 francs that go with it.
Very well. Of course, it's completely unjust, but I will submit to your Majesty's will, and I shall continue to be a faithful servant of your Majesty until the day I die. And Fouché?
What about Fouché?
Well, obviously, I have no wish to condemn anyone else, but I do find it quite surprising that after I have received this type of treatment, Fouché is a...
If I had plans to punish Fouché, you've just made me change my mind. Napoleon, you are shit. Shit in a silk stocking.
So, it's a pity that such a great man should have such bad manners.
Why? Did you find him very angry?
Fortunately, I was able to convince him to forgive you. It's quite all right. You don't have to thank me. You know, you can always count on me.
Why are we here? He won't come.
Oh, yes. My brother will come. Giving thanks to God for his bounty is an excellent way of making people believe the Spanish campaign wasn't such a disaster.
What the hell am I going to say to him?
Nothing. Smile. You're irresistible when you smile.
Do you know why your husband is here instead of being locked up in a fortress? Because you're my sister.
triumph tonight.
Didn't applaud because they're worried.
Whose fault is that? Even in my own family, they are defeatists. And worse.
I'd be lying if I said she wasn't pretty. Pretty, not exact. Attractive. Although there is a touch of the farmyard about her.
Josephine, that young woman is the Countess.
Walewska, I know. A pall might cover her face with powder, but the rowdy complexion gives them away at the end. Not to mention the hat.
Sire, from Marshal Berthier.
To Murat, my escort and my carriage immediately.
Yes, sire.
Austrian troops have crossed the Inn. It's war.
We're leaving, gentlemen.
Sire, I saw you leaving before everyone. I ran out. I thought, we can take my carriage and go to my house. It's more discreet.
Too late, man. I'm going to war. I didn't ask for it, but I must defend myself. I will leave Paris before dawn.
It's still early. That leaves us a little time. When you stop wanting me, you can still remind me that you have hundreds of things to do, thousands of letters to write.
But only one Mary. You haven't seen me.
Yes, sir.
Hold your ground!
die.
Come on! Come on!
No, it's nothing. Nothing.
Sire, the engineers have rebuilt the bridge.
All the men and ammunition to the left bank. Move fast. The battle isn't lost.
Take shelter, sire. If you don't, your grenadiers will stop fighting.
We will confront the enemy at Wagram again. There is a fine plain there. Very fine plain. We will cross the Danube. I'm sure Wagram will be the site of our victory. No. Lan, can you see me?
It's the Moe,
Do
sire.
you recognize me?
We must amputate.
Amputate, but he's Marshal Lan.
Which is why I'm cutting off his leg. With anyone else, I'd put a bullet through his head.
I was waiting to see you before I go.
Go? Where do you think you're going without any legs, you damn fool?
To hell. That's where people go when they've done what I've done. The slaughter. The horrors. You will know what hell is like, too. When you end up alone. After you've sent all your friends to the death. They will abandon you. They can't go on, you know. No one dares tell you this. But I do. I'm here because of you. And even though I'm dying, it doesn't stop me from loving you. So stop this war. Put an end to this madness.
Mabu. The body of Marshal Land is to be embalmed. His remains will be carried back to Paris in a coach, escorted by a platoon of honor.
I don't know those jewels.
You mean you don't recognize them? I used to wear them when we got married. Not so very long ago. 13 years.
I only looked at your eyes then.
And now?
I'm afraid I have to look at the future.
Which means?
I've just come through a battle that showed me how dangerous it is when I can only send half my forces into combat. Bagram is a victory, but I nearly lost everything at Essling. The war in the East could start up again any day now. And what would happen with half my army stuck in Spain?
Am I supposed to know the answer?
You are the answer. A part of the answer. I need a long period of peace in the East. And our only chance for peace is a marriage contract between France and Austria.
You mean between you and the Archduchess Marie-Louise?
The prospect disgusts me. But I must sacrifice everything to...
You don't need to justify yourself. I knew this would happen one day. And she's young, isn't she? She can give you the child you always dream of. The proper heir, at last. But all the same, you certainly have changed. After doing all you could to destroy the monarchies of Europe, now you're going to bear the crown.
This is not about bedding, Josephine. It's for reasons of state. Don't cry, please. It's not worthy of you. It's not worthy of us.
I'm not crying. Only little girls cry, and I haven't been a little girl in a long time. Which is why you're getting rid of me. Because I'm an old woman. You no longer love me, Napoleon. That's the truth of it. The only truth. You don't love me.
Stop reacting. Come on, get up. Someone might come in.
Sire, His Excellency Prince de Metternich, the Austrian ambassador, asks to be received.
I will receive him.
Good God, what's that?
A scarecrow, sire.
Dress up in an Austrian uniform. If Marie-Louise sees that, we'll have a diplomatic incident on our hands. It's been hard enough as it is to persuade the Emperor Francois that we are ready to love his Austrian daughter when it's barely 15 years since Marie Antoinette was guillotined. Momento della verità.
That's right.
Are signed by Relouté and Dubois. This is the reception room for your ladies in waiting.
It's wonderful.
And over there, you have your imperial bedroom.
Their Majesties will have a rest for a little while.
I should warn you, Majesty. No.
No? What do you mean, no?
No. Not before I'm your wife.
You are my wife.
I married you by proxy.
Our marriage is meaningless for me until it's been blessed by God.
Kanaku, I need a man of God.
Man of God? You, sire? Whatever for.
Can you find one or can't you?
Well, I ran into an old cardinal.
A cardinal, she'll love it. They are sending us a cardinal.
Yes, I heard. Then we shall wait until His Eminence arrives.
It won't be long. Calanco is very efficient, like all the men who served me. Most of them were mere nobodies before. I seem to have a gift for helping people raise themselves.
Well, I started off rather highly placed. Do you think you can raise me even higher?
Yes. I'll raise you to happiness. Ik liebe dich.
No.
No?
Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe.
Push, Your Majesty.
Doctor, no, not now.
Your mother willed this on her.
My mother?
Yes. I always suspected she was a bit of a witch.
For God's sake, Corvisar, there must be something you can do.
Sire, we've done everything in our power. But the Empress has been in unbearable torment for nearly 12 hours, and she's getting weaker. I'm obliged now to ask you that we must choose.
Choose?
Mother or the child.
Her.
Have I understood rightly, sire? You condemn the child?
My wife has the right to live.
Of course, but when tragic circumstances demand it, it's customary for sovereigns.
If the Empress loses this child, she'll have others. She's young. She's so young. And full of life.
Very well, sire.
Was a boy. My wife spent, she will live. Thank you, Doctor.
He's alive. Linen, sire.
At the camp. Fire the cannon, monsieur. 101 shots. Pleased to salute the birth of my son.
At your order, sire.
The first thing I did, madame, was send word asking you to delay your visit, because something extraordinary has happened tonight.
I know. I heard the cannon. I can still hear it. It's endless.
101 shots. A son. Can you believe it?
Is another son of yours?
Alexander, isn't it? You wrote to me about him. Charming child, so fair, so...
So Polish. Never mind, sire. I didn't come to beg you as a mother, but as a patriot. Countess Walewska in the name of all her people. You must listen to me, Napoleon. Even though your heart is elsewhere tonight. The Russian Tsar has gathered over 300,000 men on the border of the Grand Duchy of Warsaw. Although, as you may recall, you guaranteed our integrity in the name of France.
I'm aware of the situation. I appoint ministers to keep me informed.
Then you must have decided what your answer will be to this provocation.
Provocation? Is that really the right word?
No. Threat is more accurate. For us Poles, a deadly threat.
For you. For the birth of your son. Don't you want to see what I've given you? Well.
It's beautiful. But it doesn't answer my question. I will not leave here until you...
Sire, there's a huge crowd in front of the palace. People are asking for your majesty to show himself. Oh, sire, all these good people are so happy. You cannot refuse them this extra joy. Please.
Sire, would you choose between Poland, who implores you, and Russia, who defies you?
I'll let you know my answer. War with Russia, for Poland, sheer folly.
I'm afraid you've chosen the wrong day, madam.
He won't let us become Russian.
Madam, this night has changed the Emperor. He is now another man.
I know this man. He will help us.
The Emperor, Your Highness. It's the Emperor.
Quick, give him some water, quick. Here. You should have let me know. Don't touch me. Don't look at me. I forbid you. I am dirty. My hair is a mess. I'm dressed like a peasant.
You could even say a poor peasant. You're up to your eyes in debt. I had to pay another bunch of angry tradesmen. I grant you a pension of 5 million francs a year. What do you do with the money, Josephine?
I spend it. Anyway, it isn't your money.
No, it's the States.
You bailed me out so many times. You should be used to it by now. That's not why you look so serious today. What have you really come to talk to me about?
War. It seems inevitable. The Tsar is threatening Poland in an intolerable way.
Oh, our dear Walewska has finally succeeded. She couldn't have you for a husband, so she will have you as her champion.
That's not enough to push me into a war that could be the most terrible one the world has ever known. Now, if I attack Russia, it won't only be for Poland. But Russian ports are still welcoming English ships, and I can't allow that.
Poland, Russia, and England, you're making me dizzy. I'm so far from all of that now. But who am I that you should come to me to advise?
An intelligent, perceptive woman.
Do you really think so?
If I didn't, I would be with my marshals, not here with you.
Let me tempt you with some hot chocolate. I didn't think you look any fatter. Listen to me. Listen to your old friend. Do not go to Russia. You're at the height of your glory. From Portugal to Poland, almost all Europe is yours. You rule over the destiny of over 60 million men. You have a wife you love, who has given you the heir you so long for.
Precisely. What if I can leave him even more? What if my son becomes Emperor of Europe when he succeeds me?
Napoleon, be sensible. Watching your son grow up will give you more happiness than an empire. Do not go to Russia. I had dreams about you. Bad dreams. I'm Creole, remember? And where I come from, we believe in such omens. Do not go to Russia. I thought this marriage was supposed to guarantee peace.
I should have married an English woman. London is pushing the Tsar to provoke me, I'm sure of it. Your garden is looking very beautiful. Especially for April.
Dead. Nothing's moving. How are you?
There seems to be here no one to defend Moscow.
The Tsar has abandoned the city to us.
Makes me uneasy. Let's go down there, gentlemen.
Search the place.
They can't have left very long ago.
What if it's a trap?
You're right to be suspicious, Murat, but Russians are warriors, not murderers who lie in wait in the dark.
Funny sort of warriors. They've been fleeing ahead of us for 3 months.
We beat them at Borodino, though.
I don't believe they are retreating out of panic. I suspect it's for tactical reasons.
A tactic that gets them nowhere, other than abandoning their towns to us, one after another.
How Europe will tremble when they know we've taken Moscow.
We haven't taken Russia until we take the Tsar. And the Tsar is in St. Petersburg.
Then we'll go to St. Petersburg. We'll load up all the provisions we can find here, food and ammunition, and onwards.
We've looked everywhere, sire. The place is full of food supplies, but there's not a soul to be seen.
Very well. Gentlemen, it's extremely cold in the Kremlin. Let's see if we can find a way to warm it up a bit. This is what the Tsar of all the Russians sleeps in. No wonder he refuses to fight like a man. Set up my camp bed and my table here beside this cherry cake. And I want to get rid of these things as well.
Sire, all the main buildings have been stuffed with fuses, firebrands, and rags, soaked with sulfur and tar. All it took was a few men prepared to sacrifice themselves, and woof!
All the fire pumps have been sabotaged. In 2 or 3 days' time, Moscow will be a pile of ashes.